All right, got my boy Barbecue here. Hope you guys enjoyed the stop motion at the beginning. Like I said, that's pretty much my formula. I'm going to be dealing with now on, hit you with a little bit of stop motion when I can, and then give you a review of the figure and tell you if I like it or not. And of course, with G.I. Joe Classified, I'm in love with this line. I'm pretty sure everybody is. It's a little pain in the butt trying to deal with the line, but they are getting better. And before our very eyes, now we look up, we got 30-something figures, where from a year ago, you're only dealing with about 5 or 10. Well, yeah, about 10 of them, and they were extremely hard to come across because half was a regular release, and then the other half was a Target exclusive Cobra Island, which they still kind of kept that up, but they switched it to Tiger Force and Python Patrol, and they're not putting so much, I guess, mainstream characters in there like they did with the first time with Baroness, and you got a Cobra Viper. And a Cobra Viper, you want an army build, but it's an exclusive. How can you possibly do that with an exclusive that's also hard to get? Don't know if anybody's watching, how long you followed the channel, but in the beginning, I told you the city I live in only has one Target. As far as Walmart exclusives, those come a dime a dozen around here. There's probably about 15 Walmarts in my city. Walgreens, sometimes Walgreens in my city, there might be almost 2 right across the street from each other. The only one that I have a problem with is Target. But enough of that. Let's get into this review of Barbecue. Awesome figure. Awesome figure. I'm going to say out the gate it's an A+ figure. He moves great. He feels great. He looks great. Whoever sculpted this man was truly in love with sculpting G.I. Joes, because they definitely went out. And plus, G.I. Joe, you can take this line and put it up against any import figure any day of the week, and it'll definitely give it its run for its money. You can put it up against any import. $20 to $25 figures can go up against $90 to $100 figures all day, and that's awesome. They had the drop down leg effect just like Mayfex, which I'm almost not too much of a fan of, because that drop down effect almost has me scared to move their legs in their pelvis area at sometimes, which we'll go over that and I'll show you guys what's going on. But we're going to start with the head and we're going to work our way all the way down to the feet. They gave him... Oh, and also, I hope you guys like the fire effects. The fire effects come from Scorpion 112 Storm Collectibles collection. They had some great fire effects in there. The fire effect that Pyro was using when he went down on him with the axe comes from Scorpion when he does its uppercut. And these big flames in the back really kind of made my fire scene work out. I tried to do the best I could with the fire, but like I said, hope you guys enjoy it, man. At the end of the day, they're toys, man. It wasn't like I was dealing with real fire or anything like that. But as far as the head, you can definitely put it on a swivel, turn it all the way around. They gave him great articulation with his neck. I mean, you could really roll this thing. I don't know if you guys can see that, but look how I'm just really just effortlessly just moving his neck, which comes great with a figure that's heavily armored in his fireproof suit. Like I always say, the more facial expressions, the more different heads they give you, the more hand expressions, different handsets they give you, gives the figure so much expression. That's the only thing I will say with the G.I. Joe Classified line. They don't give out too many different hands. They usually come with one set of hands, and that's the hands that's attached to the figure. But on top of that, they make up with the quality of the figure and the paint and the accessories and just the overall love they give into the figure. So they make up for that. Maybe eventually one day they'll start putting some second set of hands in there, you know, just for more expression. But if they don't ever do it, man, I'm cool with what they're giving me right now. They just need to keep rolling out these figures, man, so we can get our hands on them. So far as neck, there's like a ball. There's like a ball here, and then on the bottom of the neck you also have a ball joint here that you can roll it with. As far as his arms, he definitely can move his arms up in a T. This vest kind of hinders it a little bit, but like I say, with the man who's wearing a fire suit, there's really so much he can do. Let's flip to the side here. Once again, they gave him a butterfly joint, but a thing with the G.I. Joe Classified, let me grab my dark saber here. The thing with the G.I. Joe Classified line is that these vests that they put on, it really kind of makes the butterfly joint obsolete. But it's cool. He moves fine. I actually enjoyed playing with this toy and making that video. So far as got a bicep swivel here, as you can see here on both sides. He has double jointed elbows, and I'm glad I said that correct, because in most of my interviews, in most of my reviews, I say he has double jointed arms. And if people ever, if people ever start watching this channel and commenting on it, they're going to say, hey, you meant to say this or that, whatnot. But you know what I'm talking about. He can move in pretty well. He can kind of do the money phone, but he doesn't really need to. As far as they gave him great articulation as far as a figure being inside a full fireproof suit. As far as the hinge in the wrist here, I think he has an up and down. Most of the time with G.I. Joe, you're going to have an up and down hinge for shooting pistols. Because most of the time when people shoot a pistol, they're not going to shoot left or right. They're going to go north-south with it. As far as the other hand, does he have a hinge up and down on that one? It's kind of hard to move it. I've only had this guy for about a week, so I think his hinge, let me take a look at that. Does he have a hinge in there? I don't really see a hinge in there. I'm sorry about that, guys. I have to get back to that. But as far as his ab crunch, you're not going to do too much with this vest. This breathing apparatus, this vest is pretty much going to hinder you from really kind of getting busy with that. But he moves well enough. Far as the legs, he's got a thigh swivel right here. I wonder if he has a boot cut. Yes, he has a boot cut also, too. You can see that there. So they gave him, and that ankle rocker is just beautiful. So that helps him move. You don't understand it when you're dealing with an action figure. That ankle rocker helps a figure stand quite well. So far as legs, he has double jointed knees. See how far back he can go. He can kick himself in the butt. So that's awesome. Oh, and the drop down legs. So I hate really messing with it. I think it's a awesome idea, but it really reminds me of the rubber band that they had. As you can see here, let me grab the dark saber. As you can see in here, and let me get out of the way of this light so you guys can see a little better. Sorry about that. You can see here that gap there. That gap is going to help him kick a field goal. Ooh, and I don't know if you guys heard that pop. That thing scares me every time. So, I mean, far as, like I say, a guy in a fireproof suit, that's great. That's great leg articulation as far as how far he can move it up. Let me move that back down. Whoa, these things scare me so bad. Well, I got 3 of them. Most of my G.I. Joe classified figures, I'm tripling up with them. And not because of sale later on, just to have them, man. I mean, I'm addicted to these things, man. On some serious. I'd rather pay $20 a piece for a figure than to go out and buy some drugs and be addicted to drugs. So, you're always going to be addicted to something. You just choose what path you're going to go down. All right. So, let's get into the weapons that he holds. He has a fireman axe, and these weapons are like weapons / tools, which a fireman would have. He has his bigger axe here, which I'm gonna tell you like this: in Marvel Legends, let's get a closer look at that if we can. Hopefully, it could focus. They're not gonna put no silver paint. Let me move out the way a little bit, get a little bit more light. They're not gonna put any silver paint on the tip of a blade. Most time with Marvel Legends, you're gonna have just one blade, one solid color. Axe has grip up here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So just in case he needs to grab it with 2 hands, and of course he has a grip down here. Let's flip him to the side here. He has a smaller axe that I like to carry here. Let's try to get it out of his holster here. And this right here, the bigger axe is more like a utility axe, just in case he's in a fire. But this axe right here is almost built for... Pop his legs back in. This axe right here is almost built for combat. Once again, has the silver paint here. And then it has like a brass knuckle spike like handle here. And a nutcracker on the end. And that's strictly for fucking people up. I don't care what you say. You're not going to use that to knock down the door. You're going to use that to knock somebody out. The bigger axe is for the utility. But it's a cool piece, man. They gave him the perfect weapons. He actually has no pistols, like as far as firearms. The only thing close to a pistol here is his flame retardant. Oh man, I bent that out of shape. Let me put that down right now. That's not holding it. And I'm going to take this other axe down. Put that to the side, and let's flip him around here. So much detail into these figures, so much detail with the paint and little things like that. And that's not stickers. It looks like it possibly could be stickers, but it's not. This right here is painted on here, which is freaking dope, man. So I don't know what's in here. I really haven't took the time to actually look at the little pictures. I'm getting older, so I'm definitely going. I don't wear glasses, but I'm definitely going to sit down in some light and try to look and see what's on his backpack here. But they took the time to paint these red, and then they took the time to paint the straps black. Like I say, with Marvel Legends, most of the accessories, this is all going to be one color right here. You might get some paint on these straps here. But I'm guaranteed the flame retardant tubes here, the containers, and the pack would all be the same color. Now, there's different things going on in here, but they didn't put any paint on that. And you know what? I really don't care, because one thing about the G.I. Joe classified line that people were talking about with the first figures, with the first wave with Roadblock, Scarlet, and Duke, they had these gold shiny boots on and just little gold accents in their gear. And if you're in the military, you do not want anything like that on in combat, especially at nighttime, especially where there's light shining, because that stuff is going to reflect off light. back in the old days when they went to war and things of that nature, you had to be careful how you light a cigarette, because somebody's sitting up watching your ass all night, and that's their job to watch you and see what you're doing. You could be pitch black. As soon as that damn cigarette lighter come on, bah, they spotted you. Boom, you're done. So I'm glad that they toned all that BS down a little bit, man, and actually started getting to some more military type authenticity. So connected to that pack, we also have a gun that's going to shoot his flame retardant chemicals out to suppress a fire. Let me just take his backpack off, and hopefully you guys can see this. Get a little closer here. So has no bendy wire in it, but it's pliable enough that you can kind of do what you want to do. But as you can see here, if you leave it hanging, it's gonna hang the way it's molded. So, but backpack is pretty cool. Now, what I did see, this vest, when you kind of start moving him around, it has a peg hole in the vest, and of course the plastic in his back here. As you can see, I'm poking in there. But once you start moving him around, that vest will start to pop this backpack off. And it didn't fall off quite easily, but it will fall out once you start moving it around. Far as paint, let's just go over a little bit with the paint. He has like a silver finish here, which is awesome. His visor looks real. Even though it's paint, they gloss it up enough to where the black is reflecting like it is actually a visor, or a visor inside of a helmet. Pretty much throughout the figure, this right here is like a black. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a smoky black, but it's not pitch black. To me, in the light, it looks like it has a little bit of gray with it. Far as his costume, it almost looks like a pepper, because it goes from like a orange-ish color here to like a red, and this is totally red here. But it looks like inside the outfit, and this is maybe orange, but it's almost like they did it with like a red tint. They used the orange paint with a red tint, and then they gave it some red accents with the knee pads and the elbow pads. Everything else, like these things here, are kind of like a smoke gray. Not a smoke gray, like a smoke black. It's almost a smoke black to where it almost looks like a dark gray, like a graphite or something, which is freaking awesome, man. I don't know if you can see in his breathing apparatus here, they took the time to paint this green so you can see the gauge on there, man. I mean, this thing is freaking cool. It really is. It's a cool figure. I mean, G.I. Joe Classified has really been nailing it, and this review right here is just in celebration of them, man. I think they're awesome, man. This figure is A+. One, because they did a great job on it, and it looks phenomenal. You don't need another barbecue after this. I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe they'll do some type of force he's in. The only thing you could do to this is maybe repaint it another way. I don't know if barbecue was ever really another color. And I'm really not too fond with barbecue. And actually, his real name is Gabriel Kelly. He's from Boston, Massachusetts. So I'm pretty sure he says, "Hey, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my cards here." You know, he got that thick Boston accent. He's Irish with the last name Kelly, and he's a redhead. I'm not trying to be discriminatory, but most of the time when you got a deep redhead and it has the last name Kelly, they're pretty sure they have Irish roots or in their background. But like I said, he was not a member that I was too fond of. He's from the Aura era. He's there in the beginning. When I go back and watch old G.I. Joe episodes, I think I seen him riding in a helicopter or a Sky Striker with somebody that was flying over in the area. But I mostly gravitate towards Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. I'm like 88, 89, 1990. I even was still watching G.I. Joe when they were fighting cesspool. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cobra was nowhere around. They started fighting pollution. They whipped Cobra ass so bad they went to go pick up garbage after that. So that's my era. But he is there in the beginning, and I don't know if he has a color variant. But you don't need any other barbecues if you buy this one. If you can afford to buy two, buy two. If you can afford to buy three, because I don't know how this classified line is going to go. But the figure's definitely worth keeping around. And as far as him, I believe he's the last man standing on the Cobra Island releases. As far as the pandemic, I don't know which order he was supposed to come out, but he's the last one to pick up. And that's why I'm gonna get back to why he was an A+ figure, because second of all, he was easy to get. I don't know about your targets in your area, but online, the day they released him back in June for pre-order, he was available all the way until I got him last week, and he's still on Target available. So if you can pick this guy up, pick him up, man. That I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for what I have to say about Gabriel Kelly, aka Barbecue. Like I said, I hope you guys like the stop motion. This is a great figure. The G.I. Joe classified line is slamming. They have much more figures to unveil that we've seen. And I hope they just keep going on the upwards. I might stop collecting everything else because I'm a collector who collects everything. I might just really just kind of narrow it down to G.I. Joe classified is what I'm after, because I've been spending a lot of bread just getting figures, just so in wow of the pop culture. But also too, next week, finally I'll be getting my Snake Eyes and Timber set, so I can't wait to do stop motion with that. I'm gonna have Snake Eyes go up against probably about 15 stormtroopers with Deadpool coming to assist him, maybe. But that's the aim I want to go with it. So that will be my episode next week. And I usually don't say this on my videos because, like I said, I'm in love with the art of action figures. This thing has totally consumed me. I just love it. I think it's beautiful. But if you have a chance, like my video. If you can, comment. So let me know what I can do, because I'm here for the community. Basically, it's not about me, it's about the action figures. And also, if you can, subscribe. I'm not in it for the money. I ain't gonna like it. I mean, let me rephrase that. I'm not even gonna front. I'm in it for the love. I'm in it for the likes. I want somebody to like what I'm doing here. I want somebody to be passionate about this thing just like I am. And on that note, we're gonna end it with our running theme: being a person of integrity. I'm gonna tell you about something that happened today, which when I say this, I lived this in my real life. I accidentally hit a guy's car today where I was taking a Bobcat off a trailer. My whole truck started rolling. Bow, hit his trailer. The trailer hit the front of his work van. And he didn't know it. I could have just walked away from that. And I went inside, I made sure I got him, and his bumper was plastic, so it had a small crack. And be honest with you, he could have lived with it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't cracked before I got there. That bumper cost me about $300 for that piece of plastic, and guess what? I got it for him. That's what being a person of integrity is. Stand on your own too. Until the next time, God bless.